today. I want to welcome everybody. If you've never been on my morning podcast or on my Facebook page or on my YouTube or on my Instagram live, I want to welcome you. I have been doing this Saturday morning No Guts, No Stories since 2006. I believe it was June of 2006. And I've rarely missed a Saturday morning live. I just feel like we have to be able to use the gifts that God has given to us. We have to be able to share and witness the things that we fail forward in and just give other people hope. So to me, I would do this every day. There's no money for it. It doesn't pay me anything. I just feel so rich when I can share an experience and have somebody message me and say, thank you for sharing. You really touched my heart today. You really gave me hope today. You really encouraged me today. So good morning from my heart to yours. I don't know what you guys are going through, but I want to welcome you. And if you get some great content out of this, please share it with the people that you love and care about. So right now, real quick, please let me know where you're coming in from. Are you watching this live or are you doing the replay? I know that many of you have probably been following me for many years, and some of you, it's your first time, and you're like, who is this lady? What is she talking about? So today I'm broadcasting on every stream that I can possibly get to. My goal is to reach more people, to touch thousands and hundreds of thousands of people's hearts in my lifetime, and just to have them say, thank you, you made a difference. So I want to come to you today just from my very authentic, transparent heart and say to you, we're halfway through the year. I don't know where you started, and I don't know where you thought you would be by December of 2022, but examine where you're at right now and say to yourself, 6 months has gone by. Am I on track to get to where I want to be? Did I have a roadblock? Did I have a complete detour? Did the plane go down and they're looking for any survivors? Like, self-examine, where are you at in your personal life, your spiritual life, your health and wellness, your own personal well-being, your mental, where are you at mentally, where are you at spiritually, where are you at on track with your financial goals, maybe your relationship goals and your family. We're all on this planet for a very short time, and we're all going to get to the same destination, right? Nobody's getting out of here alive. It's not going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it if we make the right choices. And I'm telling you, I have had such an incredible revelation this week. Obviously, last weekend, I was so humbled and honored to be at the ANMP, especially as a speaker, and to sit at the table with so many greats. I mean, my date for the weekend, if you will, was Michelle Barnes, an incredible legend in the industry. And we've followed each other and seen each other on social media for many, many years. In fact, one of my mentors, every time I was at a roadblock in my business, and a couple of times when I was looking for a new home, in the industry, because the company had failed me and gone away, or maybe I had made some poor choices, responsibility says I've made some poor choices in my life. And I had to self-examine and say, how do I get back on track? And 2 times in my career, 2 out of the 3 times that I was looking and searching and praying, one of the people I look up to the most said, do you know Michelle? And we had never met. And once we met, oh my gosh, it was a soul sister moment. I think we were cut from the same cloth. We were taking notes. Our writing was identical. And everything that Dave and I have taught ever since we've ever been speaking has been everything is energy, and energy is everything. And you control only one thing, your energy. This girl gets on stage, knocks it out of the park, stole my entire philosophy, and delivered it better than I've ever delivered it. And you know what was great about it? I needed to hear it. I needed a dose of my own medicine. And then it got even better than that. There was one speaker that took the stage, one of the most wealthy, successful people in the industry. And he showed the slides of his addiction, his failing, his falling off a 50-foot balcony, hitting the ground, dying in a hospital, struggling with addiction to the point even his family did not know where he was. He had not been in touch with anyone. He was dying, and nobody even knew he was dying. And you know what was so authentically real and powerful? That story of struggle reached more hearts than all of the millions of dollars that he has made. I know he's $1 million earner, but the most respect that he gained from me was his story of struggle. And then he got back up and he did it again and again and again. You know what I love about our industry? They always say in direct sales, you don't have to go to jail, prison, be arrested, or be an addict to make it, but it helps. And that's not a joke, you guys. This industry that I love so much does not care if you fail a drug test, if you have a felony, if you've been divorced, if you took a bankruptcy, if you graduated high school, if you got pregnant at 14, if you've been a victim of domestic violence, or if you've been the one that did it. It does not care. It's a clean slate for the entire world to come in, find a place that they feel like they can believe, and go straight to the top and have a platform. I literally feel like the industry of direct sales is a church within itself, because a church is not really a building or a religion. A church is the people. And this vessel that we're all wandering around this planet inside of is really just a structure for our soul to really reach other people. The only reason why we're here is to witness and share and have a positive impact on people's lives. Because at the end of this time, like that, it really doesn't matter how much money we made or what car we drove or what house we lived in. It's the people that we reached. And that's really the only thing that matters on Judgment Day. You know, a lot of people are quick to judge, but they're the ones that are lost. And I pray for them, because they have no idea the things that they will have to go through to learn, to grow, and to really understand why we're here. It's just a witness. That's it. So today, I want to witness to you about some amazing things that happened this week and in my first 6 months of 2022. Now, all of us have years where we go, oh my gosh, that year. Can you all think of a year in your life where it was the worst of the worst of the worst? And I want you to fast forward, and I want you to drop in the comments, what was the year that you really feel like you just hit rock freaking bottom? Like, you were so far down, you didn't even know how you're going to get back up. But like Les Brown says, if you can look up, you can get up, and you got back up. And when you get back up, for some reason, the lows are the very thing that give us the momentum to go so high. The lows is where we gain the strength, the wisdom, the courage, the life lessons to maybe not do that again, or maybe reroute in the navigation, because we're all going to reach our destiny. And God had that planned out long before we were ever born. We have no choice other than make good choices. So it's the least amount of pain on the way from where you're at to where you want to be, right? But isn't it true that the pain is where we get the strength? You go out for track, and that first week, they call it hell week. You go out for football and you have 2-a-days and you think you're going to die. You know, you're a basketball girl or a volleyball girl or cheer. Oh my gosh. You know, my daughter cheered K-State as a flyer for 4 years. And I can remember, I mean, people would literally get sick, pass out, think they weren't even going to make it. And they started to pull back on how hard that first week was. But if they didn't have that hard first week, then when they were out there cheering and it was double overtime and they were at the bowl game and it was televised and they're trying to keep cheering and they're trying to keep stunting and they're trying to keep keeping the crowd going on, they don't have the stamina to keep going for double overtime because they never trained for it. And you guys, if you are going through that hell week, that hell year, some of you are like, it's been a hell century. You know, you're being conditioned to do something great. So maybe this is your year. Maybe this is your week. Maybe this is your day where you go, oh my gosh, it all makes sense to me. Here I go. I don't know how long your timeline is going to be struggle, but I do know this. We have got to find the hang up, reframe it, look for the good, learn the lesson, and move on. I'm going to repeat this. And if you don't know it, you should buy the book, The Thinking Cure, because I know a really amazing man that has taught me this over and over and over again. I wish he was in here with me. I thought he was going to be, but our phones are blowing up. Our business is 100-mile-an-hour, full speed. Any of you seen the movie Maverick, the new movie, Top Gun Maverick? You know when he's in the plane? Some of you know, some of you don't. If you don't know, you should know. It's the best movie. I actually think I might like it better than the first one. I don't know if that's possible, but usually when there's a sequel, it can never be as good as the first one. Holy mackerel, what a movie. I don't stay awake for movies. I usually fall asleep, and then it's funny because I have 100-mile-an-hour speed or a stop. And usually when I stop and I sit down to relax even for a minute, I'm out and it's over. And then Dave always laughs because I wake up at the end and go, that was a dumb movie. Well, that's all I know to say because it doesn't make sense, right? This movie, edge of my seat, popcorn going in my mouth like a crazy woman, nudging Dave, singing the song, jamming. I mean, I was full throttle into this movie. But the craziest part is when Maverick is in the plane and they say, don't go past Mach 9, Mach 10, whatever it is, and you're watching that pressure and he's trying to breathe and his head is pulling back and the force of the universe. And I mean, it is speed like you've never seen speed. But in order to get through the mission, he knows he has to condition. He knows he has to teach these kids, young kids that are the greatest pilots on the planet, right? But they've never been pushed to the next level. And what I love about the movie, they want him to be an instructor. But deep down, he's not an instructor. He's a pilot. Now, I'm not the best trainer. Many of you follow me, you know I'm all over the place. There's nothing methodical about what I'm doing. I'm more like a squirrel. Dave's dying laughing in the other room. I married a guy that's methodical, right? He keeps me on track. I call him, what room are we in when I'm on the 8th floor and our hotel room's on the 6th floor? Sometimes I go to the airport. What airline am I supposed to be at? Sometimes I'm at the wrong airport, right? It's messy getting me from point A to point B, but I'm going to get there. And a lot of times I beat everyone else because I don't overthink it. I don't overthink it. And I'm not going to tell you to go do something that I'm not doing myself. I can't lead anywhere where I don't go. And I can't teach anything that I don't know. Here's what I know. Sometimes life sucks. And sometimes you have to embrace the suck because God is going to use you in a way that you have never dreamt that he's going to use you. And in that movie, Maverick, some of you saw the first one, when Goose dies in Top Gun. There is a lesson, there is a mission, there is a passion, there is a purpose that comes out in this story. And I'm not going to tell you, you just have to go see the movie. So there it is. I just promoted a movie because I love it. I believe it's very inspiring. It'll motivate you. It'll make you laugh. It'll make you smile. It'll increase your energy. And guess what? 57 million was made the first week at the box office because of word of mouth. And none of you got paid a dime. But you told everybody. How many of you saw the movie and you told someone, go see the movie? Everybody is screaming about it. Go see the movie. It's their TikToks, their Instagram, their Facebook, their posts, their Twitter. It's their Snapchat because of the way that it made them feel. And everyone is conforming. They're all doing what everyone else is doing because of the way that it makes them feel. Now, last week, I'm at an event. I'm on top of the world with my energy. Life happens. I'm going to tell you guys something. I have woke up every day this week. If I had a trainer and a coach that lived with me, they would have had me over in the corner of the boxing ring, Vaseline in hand, putting it on my eyebrows, definitely putting it on my lips, definitely punching me in the heart, make sure it's still going, getting out the Kleenexes, wiping away the tears, pulling me down to my knees, get back on my knees and pray. They would be encouraging me. They would be telling me, don't listen. I know it's painful. Just take the punches. Forgive them, for they know not what they do, right? And my non-personal development girl would have defended, fought. I'd probably be arrested this week, right? But personal development has helped me to know, allow people to be how they are. Leave them there. I can't take a person that's mean, hateful, full of nothing but anger, and that's what comes out when they're under pressure, and just turn them into, oh, love, all the time, feel good. No, because they didn't go through what I went through. They don't know what I know. They haven't learned the lesson. And I'm trying to take someone from point A to point B, C, D, E, F in a day or a week or a month. And they're not even to point zero right now. They're like negative 50. When they get to zero, we'll actually have a foundation to stand on. There was a lot of ups and downs this week in my life, in my personal life, in my financial life, in my business life, in my relationships, in my own faith, where maybe there were times I might have questioned, like, okay, God, why would you allow this? But let me tell you guys something. How and why and when things happen and are going to happen is really none of my business. I just have to get all of my butts out of the way. Les Brown says, get your butt out of the way. And you'll say, I know, Barb, but if I had the money you have, no. If you had the problems I have, you would have quit 10 years ago. Then some people say, oh, Barb, if I had time like you have, it's the butt. It's your butt that's getting you in the way. Oh, if I had a husband that was supportive like you, if I just had a spouse, if I had a family like you, if I grew up like you, you know what, you guys, my story is not your story. I'm not going to compare myself to anyone else out there. Justin Bieber on a TikTok this morning. My daughter saw him in concert 2 weeks ago. I think she paid $3,000 for a meet and greet. It was on her bucket list forever. Loves him, adores him, his story from addiction, anxiety, overcoming, his story growing up, his story of battles, his story of victories. Why does everybody love Justin Bieber? Because of his story. But do you know what happened to Justin Bieber this week? He got a virus that paralyzed the left side of his face. He can't even blink his left eye. He can't move his left lips. One side of his face does not move. The most talented, gifted, amazing young man, reaching so many people in a positive way. Boom. Roadblock. You know what? Sometimes roadblocks happen in our life, so we stop and listen. He was live on a TikTok and he said, I have to listen to my body. It's telling me you can't go that hard, you can't go that fast, you can't do this right now. You've got to step back, reevaluate, and reroute. You know, a lot of people, they know they're going the wrong way. They know they're going down the wrong road. They think, oh, one of these days I'm going to turn things around, but they just never hit reroute. They won't listen to the navigation. And in the movie Top Gun, it made me think about the story of when the plane goes down. You know, when a plane goes down, like on 9/11, they didn't go search for all the passengers. They were only looking for a little black box. And that little black box, unfortunately, only tells where they came from, what the altitude was, where they turned, where they stopped, what happened, and when it went down. Everybody's looking for the little black box. And that little black box will sometimes explain how we got to where we're at right now. Most people spend all of their time in the little black box. They're not looking for the future. They're not looking for the survival. They're not looking for the new reroute. They're not even open-minded to a new way because they always want to do things the way they've always done them. And I'm going to say this, probably piss a lot of you off, but especially in my industry, the basics never change. People never change, but the way we deliver it changes. And if we don't adapt to change, we will not survive. There is a new way that people are taking nutrition. There is a new way that people are getting a ride from point A to point B. People don't wait in line for a taxi anymore. Do you know, I tried to do it the old-fashioned way last week. I wanted to get home to my husband. It was going to take 3 flights. I felt so guilty being at this event because of my past little black box. I almost flew home 3 times. Had I flown home early, I would have missed the awards. Had no idea I was getting an award and a plaque. Had I flown home, I would not have heard Ray Higdon say, buy the book, Healing Back Pain. You don't need a doctor. You don't need a diet. You don't need exercise. It's going to blow your mind. Now, my husband's a bull rider. He's had back pain most of his life. 1 chapter in, he said, thank you for getting me this book. 7 hours later in a car, he said, I don't have back pain right now. I cannot believe it has anything to do with our mind and the things we've been through. Thank you for getting me the book. Had I left when guilt and fear and PTSD was setting in. Barb, you should be home. Barb, you shouldn't be at this event. Barb, you need to be on Zooms and calls and home with your family, your children, your mother-in-law, everyone that needs you. Had I gone home because of fear, get back in my comfort zone where it wasn't so scary, I was meeting people that I was so nervous to even introduce myself. I was on stage sitting next to people who have built billion-dollar companies, and I'm one of 4 on a CEO panel. Let me tell you guys something. I'm a CEO, I'm a co-CEO. If they had asked me one number, can you tell me what the amount or percentage of is, I would have been like Henry Ford. Hey, hang on 1 minute. Let me call the expert. Because I'm a C student that hires the A students who are smarter than me and surrounds myself with people that are much better than me so I can just go do what I do. But most people would have been so intimidated, they never would have even agreed to get on the stage in the hot seat where they can look like a fool at any moment. You know what? You don't have to rehearse. You know the notes that you don't need. You want to know the speech that's the best, that never needs any practice? The truth. The truth. The truth will set you free. And sitting there that weekend, my heart was breaking. My anxiety was high. I needed to be a lot of places where people needed me. But you know what I needed the most? I needed to take care of Barb. I needed to fill my cup. I was getting beat up. I was getting my heart ripped out of my chest on the ground, stomped, burned, cut up, and diced into little pieces, and trying to shove it back into this body. I could not even sleep. 2 sleep patches and a CBD would not help me with everything that was going on. But you know what I did? I stayed the course. I never said, there's going to be some turbulence here. We're going to land this sucker. No, I did what any pilot would do. Nose up, go to a higher level, raise your energy, outrun the turbulence, survive the storm. There's always sunshine up above the clouds, and there's no storm up there. It's only down here when we're trying to control, when we're trying to force, when we're trying to make a wrong a right, when we're trying to have it our way, the way we always did it, the way we thought it should be. I'm the worst at this, you guys. I hate change. I can't stand change. I wish I could be better and say, oh, I love change. I embrace change. Nope, I don't. I don't like it. I like my routines. I like adventure. I love taking a risk, but I like to do what I believe is the way that I should do it, because that's the way I've always done it. And one thing I learned all weekend is the people who are doing it the way they've always done it will be left behind. I wanted to get home today. I went down the night before at midnight. I had no idea. This guy standing next to me checking in owns one of the largest CBD companies in the world. He was in his sweats, in his ball cap, fresh out of the workout room. He said, hey, we need our room cleaned. It's a disaster. There's kids all over up there. I was like, wonder who that guy is. He was so big, I thought maybe he, played for an NFL football team or something. Later, I noticed him in a bright green suit standing on the stage. Everyone else knew him except for me. He was a legend. I'm standing there right next to him. I have no idea who he is. He doesn't know who I am. And I said to the lady at the desk, I need to get home tomorrow. I got to be out of my room by 4 a.m., in a taxi by 4:30 a.m. I'm a little worried there won't be a Lyft or an Uber. Can you book me a taxi? She said, yes, we will. She gave me a card. She said, here's your confirmation. I turn in early. Everyone else is up partying. I'm missing out on great networking conversations. I go to my room, I go to bed, and I wake up at 3:30. I get up, brush my teeth, put on a ball cap, stroll all my luggage. I pack so lightly. I had to take the luggage cart to bed with me when I went there just to make sure I could get it all down. Not to mention, 2 of the 4 wheels broke off the big suitcase and it was brand new. I will blame it on the airlines, but maybe I overpacked. And I will tell you a funny joke. I overpacked and I took everything from the last convention. I've been to 3 weeks of Dallas and hadn't been home in a month. Get there, no pants. Suit jackets, shirts, underwear, no pants. I'm wearing joggers with my suit jacket. I'm wearing leather pants on stage as a CEO. That's all I had. That's just a barbism. You know what? I'm just going 100 miles an hour, making things happen. I would rather do it and not have it be perfect than never actually go do it. Most people would have said, I'm too busy, I'm too stressed, that's too much, that's too far, too late to notice, I'm not prepared. Nope, I just showed up. And I'm leaving this amazing weekend and I'm changed. I'm forever changed. And I'm leaving and I go down to the lobby and I look over, and one of the guys that taught me the most how to take our company to $1 billion in sales, and we're going to do it. I know we're going to do it. Hang on for the ride. It's going to be mocked in. It's going to be amazing. He's just going to bed. I said, what are you doing in the lobby? Who else comes down here at 3:30? He said, well, I got 4 kids in the room and a wife. I speak first today. I had to be prepared. Said, piss poor preparation makes piss poor performance. And I was like, wow, he was preparing at 3:30 a.m. to deliver something, and I had to miss the last speakers. But I also had only one flight to get home. So I'm sitting at the front desk, I'm waiting. Taxi's not there. I call dispatch. Taxi's not there. I go to the front desk. Nobody's there. It's 3:30 in the morning. I guess the night shift goes to bed when we go to bed. I don't know. There's nobody to help me. And the taxi lady says, it looks like you're doing a drop off. You should be there soon. And then I call back and it's 30 minutes later. And now I'm worried I'm going to miss my only flight that has 3 connections and I won't see Dave again until Monday. Me and Dave spent half the month apart, just working, growing our business, being where we needed to be with our businesses and our people. So, unfortunately, I realized this taxi is not going to get me to the airport. And I do what I should have done from the beginning, and I go on Lyft and I look. I can have an XL, I can have a mini car, which my suitcases would have never fit in. I can have it soon, or I can pay less and have it later. And I hit the button, select. And in 6 minutes, my Lyft is there. Doesn't need cash or a credit card. It already processed. Doesn't need to ask me which airport are you going to. It's already in the app. And in no time, I'm at my gate. Now, you guys, I could have did it the old-fashioned way, like so many people do, and resisted what would have been so easy, or I could just pivot and adapt to change. You can take the slow road or you can take the Mach 10. It's your choice. But we have to be teachable. We have to be coachable. I could go rent a car the old-fashioned way, park it, pay to park it, then return it, pay for the gas, or I could download Turo, choose between a Maserati, a Porsche, or a Honda Civic, and with a click of a button, there would be my car. People just don't believe that there's a simpler, easier way to do things. They want to do it the way they always did it. Let me tell you something else. Sometimes we don't know why people do the things they do. Sometimes we just don't know. Today, I was reading about 401ks and why a 401k was ever created. You guys should go look it up. It'll blow your mind. If you knew why they were created, you might think, wait a minute, it's 2022. What are we doing here? I never knew why they were created. I just always beat myself up because I didn't have a 401k. I always took all of my money, invested it in an asset that would actually make me money. I've always poured all of my cash into something that would duplicate faster for me. Never had a 401k. I don't have a retirement plan. I'm self-employed. Everyone else has a 401k. I could compare myself to these people. I could be fear-driven that I need to be secure where there's insurance and benefits and whatever. It's just not the way I'm wired. I can't help it. But you know what, you guys? I don't compare myself to anyone else. I could start today with nothing. Heaven forbid, tragedy strikes down, lightning hits my business, it's all gone. Everyone leaves me. All of my promoters quit. Everyone trashes me on the internet. I get my ass sued off, whatever happens. I don't know what could happen. I will not bring that into the universe even for a minute because we're on the way up and nothing's going to stop us now. But let me tell you guys something. If it did, and I lost everything I had, I bet I would get it back within 12 months. Because no matter what you take from a person, their money, their things, their reputation. Oh, Satan will hit you. If he can't take your money, he'll take your health. If he can't take your health, he'll attack your family. If he can't attack your family, your health, and your money, he'll strip your faith. He will do anything he can to steal your joy. But do you know what? You know what nobody can take from you? Your character, your skills, your experience, your passion, your purpose. I don't care what anyone ever says, does, attacks, or tries to take away from me. They cannot take away what is within. And you guys need to look in the mirror and say, what is within? Where am I at right now? Where did I want to be by December 31st, 2022? Stop looking in the little black box where you've been, what they said, what they did. We all have PTSD, right? Drop in the comments if you have PTSD. Do you want to know what my biggest struggle is every single time I have fear and I want to go back to what's comfortable? I have peeled this onion. Life is like an onion, right? You ever peel an onion? One layer, another layer, another layer, another layer, another layer. Les Brown says, life is like an onion. We have to peel it back one layer at a time. And sometimes we cry. That's pretty honest analogy, right? But when I really stop and think, what are my stop programs? And again, if you haven't read The Thinking Cure, you should get it on pitcockmarketing.com and read that book. You think the way you think because your belief system says this is to be true. But it's not always true. Sometimes it's a stop program. Sometimes it's your own belief system. And belief systems can change. I had an instance in my life where everything was good. It was so good, it was almost too good to be true. And then it went away. There was no getting it back. It was gone. Gone, gone, gone that. No getting it back. It was devastating. I could have played the victim for the rest of my life. I got a book called Byron Katie The Works. And at first, I didn't want to read it because I'm a Christian. And I thought, this must be an atheist, like I just thought you just get on your knees and pray. You do get on your knees and pray, but if you don't do the work, nothing changes. Nothing changes if nothing changes. If you don't get better, God doesn't just make you better. Like, you got to do something. You can't sit there like a bump on a log and have Lyme disease. Poor little old me. They took this, they took that, they did this, they did that. It's not fair. It shouldn't be. It should have been. If I only would have, shoulda, woulda, shoulda, woulda, shoulda, till you should all over yourselves. It's true. We are the common denominator. And I have this one thing that's PTSD that always comes up. Don't trust. Don't trust. You're going to get hurt. You're going to get burned. And the other one is don't get too happy. Don't get too successful. One good one is never had an ego, because the minute you put yourself up on a pedestal, the higher they put you up, the harder you will fall. And if you don't humble yourself, God will do it for you. Been there, done that. Not going to sign up for that class again. It's not fun. You got to be humble. You got to be honest. You got to be authentic. You got to admit when you F up. I made a mistake. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Can we move forward? It's not that hard, but most people's pride won't let them. They just need to get to work. They just need to figure it out. They need to go back. They need to do this. They need to do that. The reality is, my Apple ID just got locked up. Sorry, guys. Look at that. God just trying to shut it off. Sorry about that, guys. Oh my goodness. I have to unlock it from another device. Your Facebook viewers want you. Please come back. Sorry, we paused for a service announcement. I have to wrap this up because we have a 10 o'clock team call on our Innovative Nutrition. All the people that are part of our team. We have an 11 o'clock, I would call it State of the Union address to thousands of women who we are trying to create a platform for. Many of them, I feel like I'm in an MMA fight. They just don't understand yet. And I've been under a gag order and couldn't really say anything. Sometimes it's not even what you say, guys, it's how you package it. I know who I am. I know what I stand for. I know what I'm trying to do. But the enemy will try to stop you and get you to quit every good thing that you ever started. He will. He will do everything. There's good and there's evil. There's black dog, there's white dog. Depends on which one you feed, right? I finally get on this plane. I'm headed home. Can't wait to see my husband. Maintenance problems. Worried I'm going to get to the next connection. Finally, we get on the road. There's no air conditioning. Not on the road, in the air. Little puddle jumper. Not real little, maybe 24 people, but I'm used to the 12, because we live in the boondocks. And it's the only way to get out of there to get to civilization where there's a big airport. So we get off that plane in Chicago, get on the little one that's going to go then to Salina, then to Hayes, which are two little towns halfway between Denver and Kansas City, where there's a small landing strip, thank God. And I'm on this plane and I get seated next to a girl. She's from Manhattan, Kansas. She's a counselor. She helps 7th grade girls. Actually knows some girls that my girls grew up with, and one of the leaders in the industry that was always a part of our team. I said, oh, the Martin twins. And we were talking about these beautiful young girls from Manhattan. And she goes, oh yeah, I worked with her at the Chef. This girl went, got her master's degree. She's a counselor. She's flying to Montana to take care of her nieces and nephews for a little bit. Thinks she's never going to have kids. Never going to have kids. I said, why? She said, too scary, too much. She grew up in a household where her mom was mentally ill. She had a lot of abuse, went through a lot of stuff. That's why she became a counselor. Later, her mom got better. Now they're really, really close. She's sharing this story with me. She goes, sometimes it's genetic, sometimes it's hereditary. We talked about addiction, depression, anxiety. Next thing you know, we talked about that very thing that happened to me in 2001, when things were going so good and I was changing so many lives. And there was someone in my family that was struggling with addiction, struggling with depression, struggling with suicidal thoughts. She said, Barb, you can't blame yourself because genetics holds the gun, but environment pulls the trigger. Probably one of the most powerful phrases I've ever heard in my life. How could Dave and his brother grow up in the same home with the same genetics and the same parents? And Dave could go one route and his only brother not getting the message, rerouting, just going down the wrong road. Something you can never figure out. Something you will never know. Something you will live with for the rest of your life. But that trauma, let's all just say it out loud. Let's normalize trauma so we can move forward, because even 2020 was traumatic for most people. And some people are still stuck from the trauma. Dave and I could have been stuck in 2001, and it's 21 years later. This week was the anniversary of my book. No Guts, No Story. I did a special. I took great books off my library shelves at home. This is a lake house, so I don't have as big of a library. But at home, the upstairs library, big as my house. Downstairs, a huge size bedroom, just wall-to-wall books. So many I have duplicate copies. I was just like, if you order my book, I'll throw in a free book. And I did that special all weekend on pitcockmarketing.com. You don't have to click anything. If you order, you get a free $20 book. One of my books off the bookshelf, probably brand new. When I buy a book, I buy 24 books, because if it's good enough for me, I'm going to throw it away. But this one, I didn't buy 24. This one, here, I'm going down the squirrel thing for a minute. I'm going to get back to my message. $105 on Amazon. This guy passed away this year. Bob Proctor, You Were Born Rich. First chapter, I'm like, kabonga. You can't believe how good this is. He created more millionaires and changed more lives than anyone I've ever met. I'm learning from those people today. And he dies a legend because he took what was in his heart and put it in a book. He took what was in his heart, told it on stage. Do you guys know the very instant that Dave and I had that traumatic tragedy when he lost his only brother in 2000, July 22nd. It was a hot day. It was 112 degrees. They didn't find him the first day. We didn't know if Dave or anybody would find him. And when they did, there was no way to turn it back. And it was traumatic. Dave went through depression, anger, his own battle with faith. It's no secret. He went through it. But do you know what it did? It gave our hearts compassion to really try to set a great example for our children. It gave our hearts compassion for the people that are struggling. Because nobody was for him when he was struggling. He was in the newspaper. He was on the news. He got in trouble. He got trouble with a gun. He got trouble with drugs. He got a DUI, whatever. Do you know why people do what they do? Hurting people turn to something to make them not feel the way they feel. They don't like the drug. They like the way it makes them feel. They don't like what they do to other people. They don't even mean to do what they do to other people. They're just trying to survive and not deal with how they feel. For 22 years, my son, Chance Pitcock, has a nonprofit, ScottAllenProject.com. You know why? He loved his Uncle Scott. He had SAP on his cleats. He had SAP on his wristbands. He had SAP on his headgear. He had SAP on his notebook at school, his trapper keeper. He had it everywhere because Uncle Scott, deep down, would play with him on the floor, bring him fake tattoos, throw baseballs, take him fishing. He was a little fishing buddy. And in his short 6 years of life, one person made such an impact. And what if that was the sole plan? Some days I wonder today if his sole plan is that guardian angel, that force that just keeps protecting my oldest daughter. We don't know why things happen the way they happen, but it's not for us to judge, right? The little black box everyone's going to find someday when you're not here. And I'm telling you one thing, the molestation, the rape, the drugs, the alcoholism, the bankruptcies, the pornography addictions, the divorces, everything you've done, let all the haters talk. Let everybody tear you down. Let everybody say what they want to say. And forgive them because they know not what they do. They are the lost. They haven't learned the lesson. God hasn't taken them through the battles that I've been through, that you've been through, to really help them understand and learn the lesson. You know, yesterday Dave was going to go live because something was really on our heart. And last night I had a dream that I donated our entire 22 acres, $1.5 million to this doctor that I believe in to help addicts. And it was like a prayer farm where you bring families back together that addiction has literally ripped apart. There was the river in my dream. There was little kids fishing. There was grandpas sitting with granddaughters. There was grandmas, you know, next to the pool. They were on walks down our beautiful dirt road. Nobody knows where it's at because it's in the middle of nowhere. And I was literally just like a butterfly up above watching all these lives change. And I woke up and I was like, wait a minute, God, do you think I should donate our whole entire house and everything? And I literally wanted to wake Dave up and be like, let's do this. And then I had to get my little squirrel brain back on track. Like, I have so many dreams. It's going to take me 10 lifetimes to live them all out. And I'm just doing the best I can every single day to show up, show out, pour out, witness, and share everything that I've learned. But let me tell you guys something. Had we not gone through what we went through in 2001, and another trauma, and another tragedy, and another trauma, and another tragedy in business, in health, in finances, in raising children, in relationships, we would not be able to teach anything. Because you can't teach what you don't know, and you can't lead anywhere where you don't go. And my hope and dream, outside of the business, outside of the network marketing company that we own, outside of our traditional companies or anything I've ever done, at the end of this lifetime, I promise you, I will have changed more lives than most people would ever reach in 10 lifetimes. And I'm not going to stop sharing. I know that everything that happened to me this week, the very people I met, the very moments they spoke, the notes that I took, the books that I'm reading, the message that I'm sharing today, is not even me. It's just the Holy Spirit. It just speaks through me to one of you. And if you got something from this today, I'm telling you, write it down, journal, get the book. And I want to end with this. This book is literally changing my life. I've been trying to control things. I've been trying to change things. I've been trying to change people. I've been trying to force things because I think, why won't they just do this? Like, if everybody would just be like I am, people aren't going to be like you are. People aren't going to believe like you believe. People aren't going to live like you live. And people aren't going to change like you changed until they are ready. But this book will change your life to where you can let it go, whatever happened to you. In this book, he goes through a divorce, which thank God I've never gone through that. I open it up. There's a picture of my daughter on my birthday 2 years ago. One of the last times our family was all really together. And I opened it up and I sat there and I just prayed and I was like, I surrender it, everything. And when you do, you guys, it will literally set you free. Just know that you know that God has a plan. Quit trying to blame, quit playing the victim game. Show up and be the best version of you that you can be every single day. And I promise you, he's going to take you places that you've never been. So if you got something out of this, please share. Follow the podcast on Apple, on Spotify, on it's everywhere. It's No Guts, No Story. And Dave and I will make it our life mission to share authentically and help you to be a better version of this amazing person that God created you to be. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll look forward to seeing you next week, same place, same time. No Guts, No Story. Happy Saturday. Goodbye, everyone. Hold on a minute here. Ending broadcast.